Sexsomnia. It sounds like a made-up disease, but ask any psychiatrist and they'll tell you it's very real and very, very serious. Hey guys, Tara here for D News with what is quite possibly one of the weirdest afflictions we've seen yet here on the show. A man from Sweden was recently acquitted of rape after it was revealed that he suffers from sexsomnia, which is a fancy way of saying sleep sexing. According to officials, the man had no recollection of the incident and was completely asleep while it happened. Turns out his ex-girlfriend also tried claiming that he once had sex with her while asleep, but she stopped him, at which point he woke up acting confused and asking what had happened. Now, whether or not you believe this guy's story, it turns out sexsomnia is a very real disorder, and this isn't the first time it's been used to acquit someone of rape charges. So what is sexsomnia, and how common is it really? Well, the disorder was first described in 1996, but the actual term sexsomnia wasn't coined until 2003, when researchers published an article in the Canadian Journal of Psychiatry describing 11 different cases of people who had engaged in sexual behaviors while asleep. Technically, it falls into the category of parasomnias, sleep disorders, which is what happens when your brain gets caught in between the stages of falling asleep and waking up. Now, typically when you sleep, you go through cycles consisting of 4 distinct stages. The first 3 stages are what we call non-rapid eye movement, or NREM sleep. This is when your brain is still functioning relatively normally and your mental activity is very thought-like and organized. The 4th and final stage of sleep is rapid eye movement, or REM. And this is your deepest form of sleep. Your muscles become paralyzed, your eyes are quickly darting back and forth, and you tend to have very bizarre, almost hallucinogenic dreams. Sexsomnia, like most other sleep disorders, happens during those first 3 phases, NREM. So people who don't progress through the sleeping stages normally, for whatever reason, will get stuck in NREM sleep. And because your muscles aren't paralyzed during that phase, you can still move freely even though technically you are asleep. Medically speaking, it's an extremely rare disorder affecting less than 1% of the population, but there are outside factors that can trigger an episode. Stress, sleep deprivation, sleeping pills, excessive consumption of alcohol or drugs, and physical contact with another person in bed can all increase the likelihood of an episode occurring. The 2 most common types of parasomnia, sleepwalking and sleep talking, typically coexist with sexsomnia. So for cases like the one in Sweden, doctors will usually look for a history of those other disorders when determining their diagnosis. Unfortunately, as devastating as sexsomnia can be for its sufferers and their victims, there's really no cure for the disorder. Most doctors just recommend that you completely avoid any and all triggers. But in extreme cases, the first line of treatment is usually clonazepam, also known as Klonopin here in the US. Sadly, that's only a short-term solution since Klonopin is a benzodiazepine, which is one of the most highly addictive classes of drugs out there. In the meantime, let us know in the comments below if you or anyone you know has ever suffered from sexsomnia. That's it for me, but as always, thank you guys for watching.